In this team selection video, I'm going to tell you why it's worth selling Haaland and who you should replace him with depending on your chip strategy. I've already sold him before the price drop, but if I wasn't free hitting in game week 32, I would actually bring in a different player. As usual, we'll start by building from the back. My goalkeeper's Kepa against Everton at home, and that's why I brought him in as my second goalkeeper. To be fair, he's not really a second goalkeeper, he's more like a joint first one because he plays in the blank. I'm going to play him on the bench boost in the double game week. He's probably going to double again in game week 34 or game week 37, and he's a very strong goalkeeper to rotate. Brighton don't have a fixture this game week, but even if they did, Sanchez probably wouldn't even be playing. I did discuss that in my last video, why I've not sold him yet, and in my next team selection video, I will discuss my replacement. Moving on to the defence, I am actually going big at the back this game week, but I've not got a choice because that's the only way I can field 11 players. I've got a Brentford defensive double up of me and Henry. They face Leicester at home this game week. The reason I brought them in is because they've got 5 fixtures in 3 game weeks. They got 8 and 9 points in the double game week last game week. This one is a blank, which is also a big benefit. Then they double again next game week. Short term, that's great, but in the long run, I don't know if I want 2 of my 5 defenders being from Brentford. It's going to be really difficult to rotate. And as most of you will know, that I like playing with 3 at the back for the higher ceiling in attack. I'm strongly considering selling one for Chilwell or James in future. It's likely to be me because he does cost more. If I was to bring in any defender from any team this game week, it would be one of those 2 from Chelsea. I would actually go for Chilwell at the minute because he's got higher expected minutes, but I do think James has got a higher ceiling if he plays, and I think he's worth considering if he's declared fit in the press conference. Now, it would be a Chelsea player because of the current position that I'm in. I've got a Newcastle double up of Trippier and Botman against Forest away. Otherwise, it would be a Newcastle defender. Obviously, it seems that we've all got Trippier, so I would actually go for Shah. The reason I would go for Shah over Botman is because of his attacking threat. He is $500,000 more, but I could afford it at the minute because I've sold Haaland this game week for a much cheaper player. I've had a look at my potential transfers in the upcoming game weeks, and I don't think I'll need that extra $500,000. Either way, I still think Botman's good enough, and he's a bit more nailed. My last player on the back line is Gabriel against Palace at home, who don't look like scoring, so it looks like a clean sheet's locked in, but now I've just jinxed it. I'm actually not bothered about benching his 14 points last game week. There's absolutely no way he was getting in that first team. Brentford had a double game week, so he had me and Henry starting. Then my last defender was Trippier. Yeah, Gabriel and Trippier both offer attacking threat, but we all know Trippier offers more. He's got the highest score of any defender this season, and they both had easy fixtures from a defensive perspective. To be fair, Newcastle's clean sheet odds were slightly higher than Arsenal's as well. Moving on to midfield, in my few years of playing, I'm not really sure if I've played a 5-2-3 formation before. Either way, I've got Saka against Palace at home. He's in the running for captaincy along with my 3 forwards, so there will be a best captain video this game week. That'll be published on Friday. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss it. I've had a quick look at the data, it's really tight between the players, and to be fair, if you're watching up to this point in the team selection video, you might as well subscribe so you don't miss any of these anyway. My other midfielder is Maddison against Brentford away. I'm really glad that he's back fit. I fancy him for the double game week and this blank game week as well. In fact, as a prediction from now till the end of the season, if they both stay fit, I think Maddison outscores Odegaard. He's got the extra fixture and I think his output's just as good. To be fair, I don't think there'll be much between them at the end of the season. I do think Odegaard will get slightly more points per million because he is $1 million cheaper than Maddison, but I'm happy with Maddison. I've had a look at my potential transfers going forward, and I don't think I'll need that additional budget. First up in my front line is Tony against Leicester at home. He was my successful captain pick last game week with 26 points. He is an outside runner for captaincy, but I can't really say that I'm considering him as much as Saka or my next player, which is Kane against Southampton away. Believe it or not, I'm actually planning on selling him and Saka with my 2 free transfers next game week. The strongest consideration in midfield is Bruno Fernandes because he doubles in game week 29 and he's extremely likely to double in game week 34 and game week 37. Those additional fixtures are a big advantage. Of course, I've not made my mind up yet. It could be a different play that comes in because Bruno has been playing in a deeper role recently and I don't know how his fitness is going to be next game week, but I'll include all of that in my research. I'm going to reveal my last player before I discuss which forward I'm planning on bringing in for Kane next game week, and that's because it goes hand in hand. To complete the 11 playing players in the blank game week, it's Watkins against Bournemouth at home. But my plan is to get Havertz in double game week 29. I was going to get one or the other this game week, and I do prefer Watkins this game week. But if I was to get one or the other and not the other one in double game week 29, so to choose between the 2, I would actually go for Havertz because there's an 81% chance it'll get an extra double in future. Therefore, I think his ceiling is higher. I'm also considering Felix instead of Havertz. I'm I'm going to monitor Chelsea in the blank game week, and if it looks like he's going to have higher expected minutes going forward, I'll go for him instead. Another thing to consider is the thing that I mentioned at the start of the video, it's your chip strategy. If you're free hitting in game week 32, it is much easier because Havertz has only got a 19% chance of playing. That's where his double comes from. But to be fair, Watkins definitely plays. So if you're not free hitting in game week 32, which is a blank, I'd prefer Watkins. All things considered, I'd definitely sell Haaland this game week because he's got a blank and he doesn't have 2 fixtures in the double. That's what I'd bring in. A player that plays in the blank and has 2 fixtures in the double. That's 3 fixtures against 1. Then I would bring him back in game week 30, where he's at the top of the captaincy matrix again. I'm not saying there's no chance he could outscore the player that you're bringing in, but when you look at it, 3 fixtures against 1, you're talking an additional 4 appearance points, up to 270 minutes opposed to 90. There's still not a bad player that you're bringing in, and there's 3 opportunities to get goals, assists, and bonus points as well. Another thing is, we know how much variance can happen in one game week. They do face Liverpool. There's a good chance that he could blank in that one. Then you'd absolutely be gutted, whilst the other player's got 3 fixtures. However, if you put the shoe on the other foot, player that's got 3 fixtures, if they blank in the first one, they've got another 2 bites at the cherry. Even still, they should come out with 6 appearance points, which is like 2 appearance points and scoring a goal in a single game week. Therefore, they've got a higher floor and a higher ceiling.